Hello everyone, Carter here, and welcome back to my Ultra Campaign progression playthrough of The Lord of the Rings, the Living Card Game by Fantasy Flight Games. Today I will be taking on the third quest of my Ultra Campaign, and the third quest of the first mini-campaign within my Ultra Campaign, the Mirkwood Paths. The third quest that I will be playing today is called Escape from Dol Guldur. Last time I barely defeated the hill troll, and after successfully delivering my message from King Thranduil to the Lady Galadriel, Lady Galadriel has sent us on a mission. So we can go ahead and jump right into this. So if you remember from last time, I was playing with Aragorn, Theodred, and Éowyn. But as per my exhaustion rule in my Ultra campaign, after successfully defeating a scenario, I have to randomly choose a hero that I am playing with and essentially exhaust that hero, meaning I can't play with that hero through the rest of the current mini campaign. So there is a caveat to that rule. If a hero has a permanent attachment on them, they cannot be chosen to be exhausted. And if you remember from last time, Aragorn did have this permanent attachment, Valor, on him. So because he is thematically involved in this mini-campaign, I didn't want to be able to choose a hero like this to become exhausted. So Aragorn was off the table. And additionally, if you remember from last time, Theodred was chosen to be the prisoner at the end of the Journey Along the Anduin quest. So because he is also thematically involved in this mini-campaign right now, since he was chosen to be prisoner, I also wasn't able to choose him as my randomly exhausted hero, which left an unfortunate option. Unfortunately, Éowyn, my main quester, was chosen to be exhausted, so I had to choose a replacement for her. I chose Legolas. Legolas is a 9 starting threat hero with 1 willpower, 3 attack, 1 defense, and 4 hit points. He has the keyword ranged, which doesn't mean anything in the solo play version of the game, but he does have the ability response. After Legolas participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, place 2 progress tokens on the current quest. So my thinking here was, I'm no longer playing with Éowyn, I'm missing out on a lot of questing power, I need something to compensate for that. So my plan is to attack and kill a lot of enemies with Legolas and place some extra progress on the current quest and hopefully make up for Éowyn's lack of questing. I am a little bit nervous that I won't be able to quest as much as I need to progress through this quest, but we shall see. I may be starting to rack up my first losses in my Ultra campaign. Okay, so we can go ahead and jump right into this. I am playing the Escape from Dol Guldur quest, quest 3 of 5 of the first mini-campaign of my Ultra campaign. Quest card 1A, the Necromancer's Tower. The Lady Galadriel of Lorien has asked you to investigate the area in the vicinity of Dol Guldur. While doing so, one of your allies was ambushed by orcs, captured, and is now held in a dungeon cell. Setup. Search the encounter deck for the 3 objective cards, reveal and place them in the staging area. Also, place the Nazgul of Dol Guldur face up but out of play alongside the quest deck. Then, shuffle the encounter deck and attach 1 encounter to each objective card. So the Nazgul of Dol Guldur starts out of play. Let's go check that out and see what it does. This is a pretty big enemy. The Nazgul has a starting threat level, engagement threat level of 40, 5 threat, 4 attack, 3 defense, and 9 hit points, reminiscent of the hill troll from the last quest. And it says no attachments can be placed on Nazgul of Dol Guldur. Forced, when the prisoner is rescued, move Nazgul into the staging area, and forced, after a shadow effect dealt to Nazgul resolves, the engaged player must choose and discard 1 character he controls. So that's a pretty nasty effect, but luckily we will not have to engage the Nazgul until after we rescue our prisoner. that's kind of the benchmark of this quest. If you can rescue your prisoner, you should be on a pretty good track. It's really the rescuing of the prisoner, you'll see that's the difficult part of this quest. So we'll see how that goes. We have 3 objectives in the staging area to start the game. So the first one is Dungeon Torch. It is guarded and restricted. Guarded means that it starts with an encounter card guarding it, which is what this quest card instructed us to do. Shuffle the encounter deck and attach 1 encounter to each objective card. So that's what that guarded keyword means. And then action, raise your threat by 2 to claim this objective when it is free of encounters. When claimed, attach Dungeon Torch to a hero you control. Counts as an attachment. If detached, return Dungeon Torch to the staging area. And forced, at the end of each round, raise attached hero's controller's threat by 2. So this is a pretty seemingly bad effect. Why would we want to claim an objective like this? Well, the quest tells us later on, so we will see. So this is the Dungeon Torch. The next one is Shadow Key, also guarded, also restricted. Action, raise your threat by 2 to claim this objective when it's free of encounters, similar to the Dungeon Torch. Attach it to a hero. And then force, at the end of each round, attached hero suffers 1 damage. So another bad effect there. Then we have Gandalf's Map. Guarded and restricted. Action, raise your threat by 2 to claim it and attach it to a hero like all the other ones. And then also, attached hero cannot attack or defend. Okay, so before we start setup, I need to draw my opening hand and decide if I should keep it. So let's draw 6 cards here, and let's take a look. I have a feint. Now we're playing with tactics cards, these red cards. So far in this campaign, I haven't played with any tactics heroes, but Legolas is a tactics hero, so you'll start seeing some new tactics cards. I do have feint, which is a nice one, where I can choose an enemy, engage with a player, and that enemy cannot attack that player this phase. So that's a very nice card to have. Other than that, I have some purple allies, and this is seeming like, I guess, a decent hand. I think I'm going to want to play as many allies as possible, and then having this feint could really get us out of trouble. I also have a Blade of Gondolin, which I can attach to a hero, get +1 attack when attacking an orc, and then also has the response, after attached hero attacks and destroys an enemy, place 1 progress token on the current quest. So that can pair nicely with Legolas, where he can place 3 progress tokens for every enemy he destroys, potentially. Okay, so now we can go ahead and draw our 3 setup cards. We have the objectives already in play, and now we can grab their guarded encounters. So the Dungeon Torch is going to be guarded by King Spider. Oh man. Each player must choose and exhaust 1 character he controls. So I think, now let me check this. As of right now, we do not have the prisoner yet, right? We choose the prisoner here on the other side of the quest card. So I believe, I do know that Theodred is going to be chosen as the prisoner, so I believe I can choose Theodred as the target. Yes, so I will exhaust Theodred. Also, this enemy has a 20 engagement threat level, 2 threat, 3 attack, 1 defense, and 3 hit points. Okay, next, the Shadow Key is guarded by Under the Shadow. This is a great card to reveal right now. When revealed, until the end of the phase, raise the total threat in the staging area by X, where X is the number of players in the game. We are in the setup phase, so this does not matter at all, and it will resolve with absolutely no effect. So the Shadow Key is free to grab whenever I want. And lastly, Gandalf's Map is going to be guarded by Guldur Orcs. We've seen this before. 2 threat, 2 attack, 0 defense, and 3 hit points, and it has when revealed, the first player chooses 1 character currently committed to the quest and deal 2 damage to that character. I do not have any characters currently committed to the quest, so I do not have to deal damage to anyone. Okay, that is pretty good. We've drawn our setup cards there, and we can go ahead and flip to 1B. We need 9 progress tokens to complete this quest stage, and it says when revealed, we are going to select our prisoner. Now, we can go ahead and ignore all this text because, or most of this text, because we already know who the prisoner was, but if we weren't playing in campaign mode, we would randomly select one hero to be turned face down, and that hero would be our prisoner. But now we know, because we're in campaign mode, and at the end of the last quest, we were instructed to select the hero with the most damage to be selected as prisoner. So, Theodred is going to be declared as the prisoner, and he cannot be used, cannot be damaged, and does not collect resources until it is rescued, as instructed by card effects later in the quest. So let's flip over Theodred. Also, the players as a group cannot play more than one ally card each round. So I can't be playing more than that. I don't know if I was going to be able to anyways, but that's important to keep in mind. And then also, this is when the the objective cards become important. Players cannot advance to the next stage of the quest unless they have at least one objective card. So I'm going to have to claim one of these 3 in order to progress to stage 2 of this quest. Like always, we also have to do the campaign setup instructions. So we are playing campaign mode. Setup, put Mendor into play, and then also I get to attach Appointed by Fate to a hero of the first player's choice. So this is great. Appointed by Fate is a new card that I get to use, and it costs 0, and attached hero collects 1 additional resource during each resource phase. This quest, Escape from Guldur, is notoriously difficult for solo play. In fact, almost impossible to beat with a single deck. So I think the campaign mode here put in Appointed by Fate to counterbalance some of that, which is great. I'm going to attach this to Aragorn so that I'll be generating 2 leadership resources each resource phase. So he has Valor, and he is also Appointed by Fate. Okay, when a hero will be randomly selected as the prisoner, we use the prisoner from the campaign log instead. Yes, we have that. Is Theodred. Each card attached to that hero is turned face down until that hero is rescued. Mendor is captured as well. Place Mendor face down next to the prisoner. This does not cause him to leave play. There we go. So we will flip Mendor over, and then also it says flip this card over. So the instructions continue. Response: after the first objective is claimed, flip Mendor face up and place 1 damage token on him. So Mendor is rescued whenever we claim the first objective, and so I guess he is going to be rescued before our other prisoner, Theodred, is rescued. So other than that, we don't want to look at the resolution yet, so we will go ahead and put this out of play, and we are ready to begin the game. Okay, so we can go ahead and start the round by gaining resources and drawing a card. So Aragorn is going to get 2 resources because of his Appointed by Fate. So that is great. Now, I want to ideally start pumping out allies as quickly as possible, but it's also important to note that I need to be able to quest with Aragorn, and if I quest with Aragorn, it's nice to be able to keep him ready and use his abilities, so I need to spend a resource from his resource pool to be able to do that. So, let's see, both of these enemies are going to be coming to me, unfortunately. So I think what I will do is not play anything. And then I'm going to go into the quest phase and quest with Aragorn, use a resource from his pool, and ready him right away. Now I'm going to have to take a hit on questing. I'm already questing for -2. Like I said, this is not a very strong questing deck. So I'm going to hope to take these enemies out, and then hope cards that I reveal aren't very strong in terms of their threat. So the card that I reveal is Mountains of Mirkwood. Mountains of Mirkwood is a 2-threat location with 3 progress tokens. Travel. Reveal the top card of the encounter deck and add it to the staging area to travel here. And response. After Mountains of Mirkwood leaves play as an explored location, each player may search the top 5 cards of his deck for 1 card and add it to his hand. Shuffle the rest of the searched cards back into the owner's decks. So there's 1 good effect, 1 bad effect. You have to reveal a new card from the encounter deck, but then you get to do some searching for cards. So I think, I'm questing for -4, which means I have to raise my threat by 4, which is no good at all. So I'm at 34 threat. Again, 50 is the number that we die at. I'm going to travel to the Mountains of Mirkwood because I need to get this threat out of the staging area. Unfortunately, that means that I reveal the top card of the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. And we get a Cavern Guardian, and I have to raise my threat by 1 because Doomed 1 is on the card. In the encounter phase, whether I like it or not, all 3 of these enemies are going to engage me, and we are already struggling here. So I'm going to deal shadow cards and see what I can do. I think I'm going to have to feint an enemy already. Luckily, that is in my starting hand. So I'm going to spend 1 resource from Legolas's resource pool to feint the King Spider. Choose an enemy, engage with the player, and I will choose this King Spider that has 3 attack. I think that is the good play. Now, there are some risky moves that I should maybe do if I want any chance at beating this scenario, and I think that means taking both of these attacks undefended. So, the Dol Guldur Orcs I will take undefended. Let's look at the shadow card. Caught in a Web has no shadow effect, which is good. I will take the undefended damage straight to Legolas. And then the Cavern Guardian, also attacking for 2, undefended. Raise defending player's threat by 4, raise defending player's threat by 8 instead if this attack is undefended. So not good at all. I raise my threat by 8 to go to 43, and this is not looking good. I'm going to have to rush through this scenario if I want any chance at beating it. I have no threat reduction in my deck, so that is unfortunate. Luckily, I am going to get to kill my Dol Guldur Orcs and my Cavern Guardian with Aragorn and... this undefended damage from the Cavern Guardian goes on Aragorn. So yeah, I'm going to attack my Orcs with Aragorn. Valor allows me to heal 1 damage from Aragorn in the process, which is great. So the Orcs will die. Their shadow card goes with them, and Gandalf's map is now open to be claimed. And I also kill my Cavern Guardian with Legolas, which places 2 progress tokens on the active location. The King Spider does not get to attack me, so its shadow card gets discarded. Necromancer's Reach, that's a good one to get rid of. And that's the end of the round. So really the board state doesn't look too bad here. It's really just this threat level, which is very unfortunate. So, yikes. I really can't afford to raise my threat anymore. So what I'm going to do now is play 2 for a Guard of the Citadel. We've seen this before as well. 1 willpower, 1 attack, 2 hit points. And then play 1 for my Blade of Gondolin on Legolas. I don't have very many options here, except to quest with Aragorn and keep him ready, and may as well do... No, I'm not going to quest with anything more. I'm going to take a little bit of a risk and just quest with Aragorn. Let's reveal a card, and we get Hammerhorns. Unfortunately, this looks like the end for us, but let's go ahead and play it out very quickly. We make 1 progress, so Mountains of Mirkwood leaves play, and we get to grab a card from the top 5 cards of our deck. Oops, let's look at top 5. I get to select 1. Doesn't really matter. I will grab a Quick Strike. Then the Hammerhorns engages us, and that's the kicker. Forced, after Hammerhorns engages you, deal 5 damage to a single hero you control. So I will deal 5 damage to Legolas, and he dies, unfortunately, which means we are about to die as a group. Let's see, I need to probably take the Hummerhorns undefended, exhaust each damaged character you control as a shadow card. So Aragorn gets exhausted, the undefended damage goes straight to him. The King Spider I will defend with my Guard of the Citadel. The Guard of the Citadel dies, and let's just go quickly. I'm going to lose for sure. Let's see, I can't play anything, but I can quest with Aragorn. I raise my threat by 1, travel to Necromancer's Pass, discard a couple cards from my hand, it doesn't matter what, and then shadow cards will be the death of me here. Or not the shadow cards, the enemies in general. I can defend 1, raise my threat by 2 as the shadow card, deal 1 damage to Aragorn, and then this one goes undefended. Aragorn dies and we lose the quest. So that was a quick one. We lose the quest, and that is our first loss of the Ultra campaign. As a reminder, at 5 losses, I have to choose a hero and kill it permanently. So I really don't want to get to 5 losses. This is loss number 1, and next time I'm going to re-attempt Escape from Dol Guldur. See you next time.